Well, welcome. Thanks for stopping by the office. Come on in. I was a runaway when I was in high school. I'm the oldest of 7 kids, grew up in a family with domestic violence. I lived in a 1956 Mercury for a while. When I tell high school students that, they don't have a clue what a 1956 Mercury looks like. This is a picture taken, of course, a long time ago. I was the sheriff then. My 5-year-old granddaughter had just taken ballet lessons. It was just a beautiful picture. I was the sheriff during the World Trade Center riots in Seattle. I was out on the streets with my deputies and Seattle police officers, and this is the Appreciation Day gathering in downtown Seattle at the Westlake Mall. There were 10,000 people in the street. I'm standing on the park bench here doing live radio. About a year and a half, 2 years after I was with the sheriff's office, I went to a domestic violence call. The husband was trying to kill his wife with a butcher knife. I was able to save her, and we got into a scuffle. I fell over a coffee table in the living room, and he slit my throat with a butcher knife, ending up with 45 stitches in my neck. My first or second year here, we were evacuated from the Capitol when a plane flew over. Everyone was told to get out of the Capitol. I'm running down the stairs, and I find a shoe on the stairway. Of course, can't find the owner. We discovered later through my daughter, who's watching the news back in Washington State, Nancy Pelosi was whisked out of the Capitol and she lost her shoe. I showed up the next morning at her press conference, presented her with her pink slipper. This is a little memorial that I have. Sam Hicks was my partner and friend, and he was shot and killed in 1982. I was actually put in the back seat of a patrol car after he was captured. He complained that his handcuffs were too tight, he was hungry and he was thirsty. So we stopped at a fast food place and bought him a hamburger. I loosened his cuffs and gave him some water. It was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. This book is about a serial murder case that I handled, and when we solved this case 19 years later, I was the sheriff. This book is all about, a little bit about my life and a lot about catching a serial killer who eventually pled guilty to 49 murders, and we closed 51 cases. He probably killed 60 to 70 people. The proceeds from this book go to help drug-addicted babies. Dateline did a 2-hour documentary, and then Lifetime Movie Channel did a 4-hour miniseries. Of course, that's Tom Cavanaugh. Yeah, they did a pretty good job. I thought they did a pretty good job anyway, at least on the crime scenes. Now, I'm a James Brown fan. So when my Bose used to work, I had a James Brown CD. When I came in, I would open up the doors to the hallway and blast that down the hallway, and people would come peeking out the doors, and some would dance to it, you know.